feel like I should be sneaking somewhere in the background. But
it's funny to listen to that music with the alien just standing there smiling at you.
Yeah.
It's good, right?
So, do you like it?
Oh, yeah, man. Take my mixtape.
He's selling this shit out of his trunk. Yeah. Talking about that Alien Covenant. Covenant. Now, some people said, should we add that to the list of words that Corey can't say? I wrote back myself. I was the first one to comment. I said, yes.
The monsters coming.
The monsters. Monsters in space. Yeah, man.
Monsters in the industry.
Starring Christian Bell.
Yeah.
And Kristen Bell.
Yeah. Kristen Bell and Mario. But I might not be able to say words right, but I know one thing, that I love a couple of Alien movies. Alien, the ones that everybody loves, Alien and Aliens. After that, it is a shit show. Oh, bullshit.
Oh, I mean, it's true, but like, come on.
No. And I can back myself up. People, just a little plug right here. Before, in celebration of this movie coming up, hoping that it would actually help mend some things that people complain about in this series, we did a whole retrospective of our least favorite to worst Alien movies after Alien and Aliens.
Sure.
Go watch that on YouTube. It's a good video if I say so myself. Martin and I had a great discussion, and we can tell you everything that's been wrong with this. And that is why, after all these years, I've just been hoping. I mean, I almost gave up, especially when Grandpappy himself came in, Ridley Scott, with everybody like, he's gonna save us.
Get out of here, you pretenders. I'm gonna take this back and show you how it's done.
All this dumb shit. We're gonna take it back to that wisdom, that space wisdom. And he fucked it up even more. Not really, but he didn't help. He just said, he had more.
But it was at the top of your favorites of the ones you don't like.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Because that's like somebody saying, how many peanuts do you want in your shit? Prometheus has the least if you don't like peanuts in your shit.
It's a cashew.
Yeah, exactly, man.
A fancier nut. Still covered in shit, though.
One of the things, because people say with all the other Alien movies, they said, hey, look, at least, as bad as that, at least they were straightforward. Because after Prometheus, people just said, huh? They were confused.
Very true.
Yeah, and I'm not going to even like blame Ridley Scott totally for that, because it's not the 70s anymore. In the studios, they just come in, they just intervene. I would say that they were the ones to come in and mess everything up. So that's why I'm giving Papa Scott a little bit more time to come in and fix things. And he said, you know what, I know the error of my ways, and I think I can finally find the right balance of everything about these movies. The action, the horror, and even the smart sci-fi that I was trying to do in Prometheus before 20th Century Fox came in and fucked it all up. So with this right here, Alien Covenant, starts out kind of promising. You know, you have that balancing some things. Like, you got the crew on this 7-year-long journey, or maybe even more at this point, to colonize a distant planet. Now, some freak accident causes them to wake up in the middle of the hypersleep, and they get a signal from a planet playing John Denver of all things. And they're like, well, shit, Planet Denver's calling. We're going to have to go there, man.
Yeah, that's enough for me to keep on going.
That's what I was saying. What?
John Denver.
Because that was one dude who I thought was black. I couldn't tell what he was. There's one dude who looks Puerto Rican or something. Looks black.
Jesse Smollett.
Is that on the ship?
Yeah, he's in Empire. You always talk about these other guys from Empire. This guy's actually on Empire.
See, because I didn't think he was black. Okay, I didn't think he was black because they started playing John Denver. I thought he would have been the only one to be like, man, you better move this ship on.
I just imagine you on that ship and they start playing Ice JJ Fish. Like, we gotta land now.
Shit. Call me when we get to planet Biggie or Tupac.
I don't know if I want to go there either.
Better than that John Denver play. But everybody else on there like, well, hey, there's something going on with this, man. We got to land now. And plus, the thing is, they're like, all right, do we want to go back into hypersleep for another 7 years? Or do we want to go to this planet, which is, it looks like it can support life, human life. Man, it's right here. Man, just land this shit and let's get down and start living. Get some real estate. But when they get down there, this this perceived paradise ends up actually being one of their worst nightmares.
End of the movie.
I mean, it didn't take no time for shit to go on.
Shit goes south fast.
The minute they turned the steering wheel, everything blew up.
Yeah.
The power of John Denver.
It was funny because they heard John Denver and thought they were going into the suburbs and they ended up in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And there was an alien that knocked on the windows like, you in the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker.
Welcome to the jungle. You're gonna die.
Yeah, man, it didn't take no time. And here's the here's the thing with the movie. To its credit, it tries to satisfy everyone for what they want. It tries to accomplish a lot in everything. Like I said, they try to bring in the horror that we know in Alien. They try to bring in the action that we know in Aliens. And they try to bring in the philosophical sci-fi that we see in Prometheus. And that's cool.
On paper.
On paper, yeah. But,
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I'm gonna let some things slide because when you're trying to do a balancing act like that, or in this case, maybe some people would say a juggling act, one of them balls gonna fall after a little while. One of them chainsaws gonna slip and cut your foot off. The horror is the weakest thing about this because a lot of it just goes to a lot of horror cliches. In fact, the premise of this movie is just one big horror cliche. The crew of the Covenant, they are the dumbest people that you see in horror movies.
And yet scientists.
And yet they are scientists and experts. And the funny thing about it is that these people, when I say that they're the dumbest people in a horror movie that you see, I'm talking about the people that you yell at the screen. Man, don't go in that house. Man, don't
Watch
go
your
in
back.
Don't go in the woods.
Girl, I told you.
I mean, yeah. I done told you.
Some of your friends just died, so you might want to be on high alert right now.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
No, not us.
Do not wander by yourself in the okay.
Again, fuck. All right.
If you must.
Yeah.
You gonna take a shower now?
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Wash some of my friend's blood off of me. Yeah.
And it's funny too because
You trust that guy even though he keeps shifting his eyes back and forth?
Okay.
I'm your friend.
Yeah.
And you know it's funny because in the movie when you say, man, don't be going up in that house, what do? They go anyway.
They run to it.
They run to it. Except in this case, it ain't a haunted house. It's a whole fucking planet. And and when we say that these are scientists, you know, they're not dumb teenagers.
No.
They're not dumb kids. They're not dumb college students, you know, on spring break who do some dumb shit because they're high and they're drunk. No, these are scientists that we think are in their full capacity and they are not thinking straight, even after some of the things that have been said. In the movie, you have, now out of 14 people or so on this ship, you got Catherine Waterston who plays Daniels. And you know what? I love her because she's the only one with fucking common sense on this ship.
To a point. I mean, in the beginning, when they want to do something really dumb,
Yeah.
which is veer off course.
Yeah.
Because it's one of these things where there's a horrific accident in the beginning, and it's gruesome.
Yeah.
I understand everybody being shook by that.
Yeah.
But the way they react to it is like, well, let's ditch our plan and go to this planet. She's the one person going like, I don't think we should do that.
In fact, she's not sitting down trying to like talk scientific logic. She's like, what the fuck?
You sure about this, Captain?
How do you mean?
We don't know what the fuck's out there.
Yeah. Taking crazy pills. And she should be the one who's most upset about what happened too. Like
Yeah.
the one that was most affected by the
Right.
accident.
Right.
And she's the one that is the most sensible about it.
I really like. I love it because the movie moves pretty fast, and she's like, I ain't got time to talk scientific shit to you. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? It's explained very sensibly to us too in very short terms. I mean, we didn't really need it because we know, but she's like, look, man, you know, this planet that we are originally going to, we vetted this planet. We know this planet is not a terrorist. You know,
Yeah.
It's not a terrorist planet.
you know, she says we know that there is no threat there. We've examined this for years, and Billy Crudup is just talking about, hey, well, you know, we don't really want to go back to sleep. It's funny, like how impatient these people are. Like they're too impatient to sleep. And like I said, they go ahead and do it anyway. And in less than 24 hours, they get alien vagina in their face. People break dancing with goddamn aliens popping out their backs. You know, I mean, it's funny because you think that this is slow burning. No, this shit happens in like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
when it
this
gets
is
done.
a metaphor for all the people who casually voted for Trump with this idea of like, well, how bad can it be? Yeah, I know we've done it this way before using facts.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's take a chance on this other thing and let's see how this works out.
Now,
and immediately, chest busters are going
now
on.
You are back busters.
Yeah.
Now you got
Going
Trump busting out your back.
I didn't think it could be this bad.
And it's funny too because in the middle of it, Catherine Watterson, she just standing while everybody's dying, she just there. Well, fuck.
Yeah.
In the back, I told y'all.
I hate to say it, but
I wanted to go to bed.
I voted to go back to sleep. I mean, that's not the dumbest thing. When I say they do horror movie cliches, I'm talking about 80s, video store tropes, dumb shit that teens would do in a movie. There's one part where Martin said it. There was a girl that said, "Hey guys, I'm gonna wash up. I'll be right back."
Yeah.
And she's like, and she goes right down that darkest hallway
By herself.
By herself. She's like, what's the shortest way to the bathroom? This really lit hallway right here, or this dark corridor. She goes down the creepiest one, and I couldn't help when she actually said, "I'll be right back." I heard them kids from Scream.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
In fact, if you Scream laid it out there in the 90s for us, and Scream actually predicts everything about this movie that could probably go wrong, not with the people dying, but wrong with the script writing, with the horror movie tropes. If you, and that's when the trailer came out. If you just go by the trailer, Scream nailed it, man, with the rules of horror.
Number 1, you can never have sex. Sex equals death, okay? Number 2, you can never drink or do drugs.
Let's party.
Man, you're spoiling this. Scream spoiled it.
It's like this crew never watched Scream, man. And it's hundreds of years away, so I'll let that slide. But
they never saw Scream.
Yeah, never seen Scream. Fuck no.
So man, I really have to go in there and say, wow, that I as much as I want to forgive this movie for some things I can't. Mm-hmm. I'll even go with now. See, I had to get a lot of things out the way with this because I feel like out of the complaints that I have, and it's not an even film. There's some things that don't work, but once you push all those things aside, the film is actually well made.
Yeah, it's really well made, especially like the I would say the first half a little bit better than the second half because the first half it felt like it was a really suspenseful sci-fi film. There was the part where they had to go out and fix something in space, and I was like, are they using like CG or this kind of looks like the old models that they used to use? And I really appreciate that.
And you know something, I'm talking about the characters. Now the characters, they do stupid things, but I didn't hate them.
That was probably what made it disappointing was that the characters I did like them.
Yeah,
each of them, their personalities. Even though it's a big cast and they don't all get a lot of screen time, I still felt like they were individual. I like the fact that Danny McBride wasn't the big comic relief.
Yeah,
he's probably one of the characters I like the most out of this. And I think for the first half of it, it's like, all right, they're doing some dumb things, but still. It's still a lot better than most of the other movies, and I was digging it. And you guys are right about how well shot it is and how well it's put together. And it's still like, well, it's intriguing. What's going to happen?
Well, here's the thing about the characters that I like. The thing with them is that the disappointing thing with them is that the movie's moving so fast. That's why they're doing dumb things because the pacing is quick, and that's a good thing. The other thing is that not only are they scientists or experts, but they're married couples. You know, they're going down to colonize this planet, so they're all, you know, got partners and they're married. And so when people start dying, and believe me, when they start dying, the hits just keep on coming. That shit does not slow down because they're married and they have partners that they love. It feels a little hard to see that happen to them. And the movie, I just feel like the movie doesn't have time to really get into it. So wisely, I think this is probably Ridley Scott's decision. He put out a few featurettes before the movie was released. One of them is The Last Supper, where you get, and I advise you watching this before you see the movie so that you can actually have a little more emotional resonance with these characters. It shows them before they actually, before the movie starts. And it shows how close they are before you see them as characters in the film.
Picking up some more uncomfortable feelings?
Oh, please do not challenge my open-mindedness. I will slide right out of this jumpsuit and show you how comfortable I am.
You know, it's funny because this is like over 100 years, and I thought people would not be uncomfortable about homosexuality anymore.
Okay, the two of them being a couple, that never came across to me.
Well, you don't see it in the movie. This is the...
yeah, and he tell me I had to do homework.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, Martin. You didn't read that chapter about gayness?
Put it in your movie.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded a longer cut of this, because it's 2 hours. Now we get bullshit movies that are over 2 hours. This one probably could have benefited from some of the characters they had.
It would have helped.
When I said it's well made, this is the first time that an alien movie, even excluding Prometheus, felt like it fit within the alien universe.
Yeah,
you know, and one of the things that I was surprised about is there are parts in the movie where it feels slick. The movie opens up with the new synthetic person, you know, the android, if you want to call him David. Walter. It is not David. It's a different one. You know, the difference is he doesn't have a British accent where David does. But they show Walter, and they even put fake commercials out there. And when I saw this commercial right here for Walter.
Also, Walter's not a creep.
You know, and we don't want to spoil too much of anything that goes on, but, you know, they put some stuff out there, like they put a fake commercial out, and at first I thought, like, you know what, this is already making me feel kind of bad about this, because this is where Prometheus went off the rails, where you just couldn't get your look together in line with the other alien movies that we've seen. You know,
like a Ford commercial.
Or a new iPhone commercial.
Can I get the gold, Walter?
You know, Carl and Kiki stand in line for.
I need the Walter. Michael Fassbender's like, I'm not a robot, man.
Wait, do you have the gold Walter? That's what I mean.
You guys got to get a Walter, man. I'm telling you.
I didn't even see this, and I know you said, you know, I wish this movie would have told me I needed to do homework. I kind of enjoyed seeing that Last Supper vignette and seeing this little commercial thing that accompanies the film.
I understand how that doesn't work for people who don't know that it's out there, and that doesn't help you.
Right.
And I wish I'd known. I would have called you to let you know.
Didn't we watch The Last Supper on the show?
We did. You know, he don't remember. He don't listen to me. But I was really impressed with the way they were able to bring things together. First of all, the movie. I think that this is the first film to feel like an alien, a proper alien sequel, because they got the feel of, now they do have that sleekness in there that we just saw. And the movie opens up with that, but once you start getting into the colonists, I mean, if you look at the background, they got all of those, they got that technology feel down where, you know, it's futuristic, but it has an old mechanical feel. Like you see lots of buttons, manual buttons everywhere. They got those monitors that look like those old Macs that have, you know, black screens with the green vector and the yellow vector colors on there.
Right.
Yeah, and they found a balance to put in the feel of Prometheus and Alien. That's what I thought, at least. And like I said, they got the sleekness down too. So I think that, you know, it's really Scott is learning as he goes along. And the other thing is that you guys saying you don't like well, Martin at least is saying he didn't like the second half as much. The movie really picked up for me and accomplished what Prometheus wanted to accomplish when they brought in David. David to me bumped the movie up because David is such a mystery, man. David, you know, he brings in the mystery. You wonder what he's up to. He brings in a lot of the philosophy, a lot of the things that, you know, make you think in what could have actually been just a run-of-the-mill horror film.
You're very kind at heart, you know.
David is actually kind of off, too. You know, it's like when you're around David, I like David. I actually like David a lot. But David he just does weird shit, and David's always smiling and looking crazy, and you know, and David is one of those people. Like, have you ever known somebody that is just, you know, too happy? You know, they come up to you like, hey, nice to meet you. Like, get the fuck away from me, man. You know? Yeah, nice to meet you too. Get away from me, and
he's like a Mormon.
Yeah. Damn. I didn't say that. Have you heard, Dave?
Have you heard the word?
Have you heard the good word?
Have you heard the good word of Wayland Yutani?
But David, you never know what he's doing, what his motives are. You know, and you are curious to why he's doing them. You know, is it to help people? Is it to help mankind? Is it to help himself? You know, is David trying to actually, because when they find David's been stranded on this planet for a long time that these people from these colonizers come to. And when they finally meet David, you know, you just thinking like, well, all right, David's weird, but he's had a long time to like really crawl up his ass, you know, and start overthinking things. But David is, and I like the way they put it, that featurette of David, because, you know, when you see David doing a lot of the things that he's doing, it's like, okay, why is he doing that? And I'll tell you this much. The action really did work for me. It took me back to parts of Aliens. I saw you on there. You'll see.
Yeah, for me, the action, I think, is the strongest part here, which surprised me, because I was expecting the horror to be the highlight.
Yeah, they actually took you back to what people tried to mimic in Aliens. They captured the feeling and the flavor of it. Man, the face huggers don't get enough credit, man.
Oh, they're the creepiest part of this series.
Every time they have a face hugger in the movie, that's like everybody talk about the xenomorphs, but the face huggers are the ones that really scare the fuck out of me. They're small, they're fast, and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Like, now you got pollen to worry about as well.
Yeah, I know,
right? And they literally rape your face. That's horrifying.
Yeah, they and the thing about it is, they don't care about guns, and they work hard for that face.
Yeah.
Shit, they like, if I can't have your face, nobody can.
Yeah.
Damien
Bashir.
Yeah, Bashir. He had the most realistic reaction out of everybody.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you know, just a side note right here. I love Damien Bashir, man. He is one of the most versatile actors. Because I don't ever recognize his ass. You know,
you don't recognize that accent that he can't get rid of.
Yeah, man. I'm on a chip, man. I mean, out of space, man. Yes, we just go sit down, man. Hey, look at me, I'm gay, man. But you know what? He can't get rid of that accent. But at least he plays something different.
Sure.
Like he was an immigrant worker, then he was like a smooth, suave, swinging dude in some of the Rodriguez films. In this movie, he's one of the gay couple.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, you know, I give them credit for at least expanding him as an actor.
Sure.
They really do try to, without mimicking, which is the problem with a lot of people, they capture the feeling of the other films right down to the score. The guy they had to do the score here, I thought it might have been somebody who worked on some of the previous films. The guy that they got is an Australian songwriter and composer, and he does music for films. This guy named Jed Kurzel. When he's not making music, he's sitting on the street just creeping people out staring at him.
Yeah. You look creepy. Want to score an alien movie?
Yeah. We'll model for food.
Yeah. He just look at you like, I'm making a song right now. But if you
didn't the guy that made the original ones, isn't he dead?
Yeah, Jerry Goldsmith did the score for the first one.
Yeah, wait a minute. Didn't he do it for also for Aliens, or was that Alan Silvestri?
No, it was, oh shit. What was it? James Horner. Yes.
James Horner. Mm-hmm. James Horner did it for Aliens. And both those movies complement each other so much because they knew what they were doing. And I think that this guy knows too. If you just listen to a snippet of the score, I challenge anybody who complains about the movie. This is one of the areas where you can say, okay, well, at least they got that. I feel like I should be sneaking somewhere in the background. But
it's funny to listen to that music with the alien just standing there smiling at you. Yeah. It's good, right?
So, do you like it?
Oh, yeah, man. Take my mixtape.
He's selling this shit out of his trunk. Yeah, and Martin, this is where I agree with you to a certain extent. And I like to hear how everybody else feels about this. The CG in the movie is something that I'm mixed about.
Yeah.
Because there are certain parts they have these fleshy aliens. I wish I could find one of the other aliens here.
The neomorphs.
The neomorphs. They have these fleshy aliens in the movie that that look good, and a lot of them are CG, and I think some of them might be practical effects also. But in the film, and also, you know, that you can see some of the practical effects with like the face huggers and whatnot. The xenomorph himself is all CG, and Ridley Scott has come out and said, "I prefer CG over a man in a rubber suit." And I'm gonna tell you something right now, man. That man in a rubber suit was one of the things that made Alien as scary as it is. The guy that they got to do that at the time is a guy named, and he's dead now. I think the guy's African, Bolaji Badejo, who looks like
he used to play for the Rockets.
Did he?
No.
Okay, I didn't know. Sig.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. Do you wear that same suit right there? And in the alien suit.
No one wants to guard him.
I know. Looking like he's at an alien slave auction right now. But he like, man, why you say that shit? But it was wrong. I'm sorry. But I will say this: if you look at the screen test, it's out there for you. The screen test itself is pretty frightening. Before they even put him in full alien gear, the screen test is scary because it's they dim lit the corridors, and they have him crawling around just so they can get the mood. And the mood with him is very frightening.
It looks like you can't see where he's going.
I know, exactly.
Yeah. Man, you know the crew was hiding and laughing.
Where's that ladder at?
Yeah, you know the crew was hiding and laughing at his ass. Like, hey guys, man, they all at the bar right now. He's still trying to find his way out.
There's no holes in this mask.
Hey, where everybody go?
I can't breathe, y'all.
Hey, y'all quit playing, y'all. They're having a beer. You think he's made his way out yet? Nah, man, he'll be all right. But it's the you've seen the screen test for that.
Yes, I have. And one of the reasons why the Alien was so, in my opinion, a lot more effective than the original Alien is shown here. It moved slow.
Yeah.
It was slow, and it gave you a sense of dread. Here, it's too much of that, like, cracked out kind of I'm gonna get you shit, and
you bring that up, and I feel like that kind of lended itself better to the action because like in the original Aliens, like they're in space, so like if you go anywhere, like you can't go outside of the ship, so if something's moving slow, it could still move slow enough and catch you because it could take its time and you literally have nowhere else to go.
Right.
On this, they're on a planet, so they could, if the alien was moving that slow, they could have ran away from it, got on the ship, and it wouldn't have been a problem.
But you got scenes with them in a dark cave where they can't really run away and get away from it.
There was still exits, and they could just go like, all right, run, even though they made a lot of stupid decisions. I appreciated them using CG for this because I felt like if they would have gone the slower route or the practical route, they wouldn't have been able to pull off some of the action scenes that we like the grass scene or the one at the end.
For me, this movie's credit, I felt like it did less of that. It has a lot more slasher and action stuff to it. And I thought those things, despite the characters being dumb, were executed pretty well. So overall, it's a matinee for me. It's funny. I kept thinking of Life that we saw earlier this year, and I still think I liked Life a little more than this.
Yeah, that's what I kept thinking too. I was like,
yeah,
man, the best Alien movie after the first two is Life.
Yeah.
Well, that's only because the alien had a name, Calvin. It did. Calvin the alien.
He had a smarter crew too, and I felt a lot more dread with that movie. So much of it comes down to a big twist that they seem to think nobody sees, and it's so glaringly obvious that it was baffling. I'm like, why are you pretending like nobody knows what's going on here?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you're just going to go with that too. I mean, and they sabotage it too.
And you know what?
I mean, there's certain cuts where they tell you what's going on and then act like, huh? Gotcha.
And you know what?
Like, no, you didn't.
Here's the thing, man. You know, the only reason it got me is because it was too obvious. So I was like, I know y'all ain't gonna do this shit. Y'all
not gonna happen.
Yeah, y'all spending all this time doing this shit.
And that's just like a big chunk of the movie that depends on that. And at the end, I'm like, wow, I felt really empty just from this whole thing. It started out so well for me, and by the end, I was like, I don't know if I like it better than Prometheus or not. I mean, they're definitely like one feeds right into the other, and it left me going like, okay, so how do you get to Alien from this now?
They don't know.
Yeah. Like by the time it was done, it was clear they don't know. I wish it could have either have been better, so I could really like it and praise it, or it had been worse. So we could just go like, okay, finally, we could just try to reboot this franchise and let it die. I think a big problem, I mean, a thing that you guys have praised it for is how it is part alien, part aliens, and part Prometheus. But you also say how it's not the 70s anymore. It's not the 80s. It's like, yeah, it's time to do something with this, but that's not like these other things. Like, because that's what Aliens did. Rather than say, hey, let's remake Alien, let's take it in a different direction. Let's make it a action movie. Yeah, and that's what everybody loves about that. And here's that opportunity to do that, and it's like, nah.
Okay,
let's go back to what it was. For me, it's a rental.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
Political.
I'm trying to think of a rental. Jesus. For me, man, it does play a lot off of the original Alien movies, and I feel like this was a gumbo of like everything that has had Alien in it. You got Alien and Aliens, which are two, I think, better than sex films, and then you got everything else that comes after that runs the gamut of being trash to delightful trash. And they just threw it in a pot, and this is what came out of it. Ridley Scott handled everything he set out to do well, and I had a great time watching this film. I wasn't all for a lot of it. They paid good homage to the original films, and yeah, this is a full price for me. I really enjoyed this movie.
Okay, all right, yeah. You know something? I'm kind of caught between a lot of you guys. I mean, at least Martin, though. The least of which is Martin. Sure. It's like, you know, I some of the things that bother you just didn't bother me as much because I think that there are more things right that they got here than they don't. You know, with this, you can still feel the ideas of the director and the studio clashing with each other and struggling. I mean, there's the movie's trying to please everyone to a fault. And I can feel it. I mean, it's very uneven in some parts, but for the most part, I mean, look, there's so many blockbusters out there that are not this smart, and this movie's dumb in some parts. And this is at least a blockbuster that's trying to be intelligent. You know, this is attempting to be more thoughtful. And as the most important thing to me that we've seen lacking from all these other films, even if they didn't succeed all the time, is that, and looking at it right here, what I didn't like in Prometheus, they were able to actually do right here in advancing the story. And if you can't do it with the alien and the xenomorphs anymore, do the background of who created the xenomorphs, who created mankind, who created, well, you know, what is life. I don't mind them trying to attempt those things. I'm caught between like a full price and a very high enthusiastic matinee. I'm gonna go with the matinee though, because those horror movie things, I meant, look, you can't be smart and be doing some dumb shit like that. You know?
I love what they did with James Franco though.
Yeah.
All right, I'm down with that.
Yeah, I wish more movies would do that.